how to find your limiting beliefs so that you can get rid of them and manifest your desires as quickly and as easily as possible. Because I know that finding your limiting beliefs sometimes can feel like quite the task, but I promise you it can be done in an easier way, probably easier than you can imagine. And if you don't want to get coaching, this is something that you can do yourself. Find your own limiting beliefs yourself, get rid of them, and I'm going to give you tips on how to do all of that. Of course, if you go to a coach, it is your coach's job to find your limiting beliefs, if there are any, and give you ways to get rid of them and tips and exercises and methods, techniques, whatever you might call it, for you to focus on your desired outcome and how to do it. But if you're on your own and you want to do this yourself, you definitely can. In this video, we're going to talk about that. I am all for keeping it simple so that you can apply it to your manifestations right away. And the reason I just corrected myself is that manifestation is not complicated. People complicate it, but it's absolutely unnecessary. So if you like that, if you like keeping it simple and practical and applicable, please subscribe to my channel, help me spread the message, and let's talk about limiting beliefs. Now, limiting beliefs is also what people call blocks. And just so you know, for your mind, a belief is a belief. We just call those some beliefs, we call them limiting just to describe them as opposing to our desired outcome. So when I say limiting beliefs, it's the belief that is opposing your desired outcome. So if you're manifesting, let's say, lots of money, and you have a belief or a set of beliefs that oppose the idea that you have or can have lots of money, those are your limiting beliefs. They are limiting your experience. That's what it is. But for your mind, for your subconscious mind, which is the part of your mind that is manifesting your beliefs into your physical reality, it's the same, whether your belief is negative or positive. So it's just going to manifest whatever you keep telling it as true, and whatever you keep telling it as true, it's going to accept as true and then manifest it into your physical reality. The reason I'm saying this is to say that it's not because it's difficult for you to create beliefs that are positive for you, that are abundant, that are going to create or manifest, actually not create, but manifest things that maybe you even have never experienced. And with those things that you might want, that you never have had in your past, these can seem impossible and therefore very difficult to acquire as assumptions, also as assumptions/beliefs. It's the same thing. But it's not. It's not. So if you have this assumption that it's difficult for you to get something positive into your mind, I'm here to tell you it's not. And you also keep reminding yourself that whatever you keep telling your mind, it's going to accept it. That belief in and of itself is limiting. That something... I myself have had this limiting belief about manifestation. By the way, this is something that a lot of people have, that manifestation has to be a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get something into your mind. It can be. If it is, then we will do all the work necessary in order to have this beautiful belief that then is going to create our beautiful experience. But it's not necessary. What I'm saying is that it's not necessary for it to be difficult. So, what is a belief? It's a thought that has been repeated a lot of times, either by yourself or by another that you have believed, or by another that you have believed, or by yourself, until it has just sunk into your subconscious mind and now it's a belief. With those limiting beliefs, and I have heard this from a lot of my clients also, when you have a limiting belief that you have had for quite a long time, and you have had experiences, it seems difficult to get, not even difficult, sometimes it seems impossible to get rid of. get technical with it. Get technical. Think of it as just, this is just a limiting belief. It's not true. Question it. Question the truth of it. Who told you you can't have money? Someone in the past trying to help you and teach you something, told you something like that. You believe now, you have the belief that you can't have money easily or enough of it. And that belief has to become true. That it's just it. When you get technical, it becomes easier to work with it. So a belief is just a belief. And if I consciously change and repeat the opposite of it, then it's going to dismantle whatever a belief I'm holding. Now, the topic of this video is how to find your limiting beliefs. I am going to not quote, but explain to you what Neville Goddard says about this. Now, you know that he is probably the first. No, I don't know about this, to be honest. I don't know if he has been the first person to talk about revision, but he is the one that is most known for revision. And revision is going back and changing a memory which created a limiting belief. So in that case, you have to know where the limiting belief started. This video is not it. He himself, in one of his texts, or maybe several, because he tends to repeat himself a lot, knowing that he does that, because repetition reinforces the belief in everything, whether good or bad. And what he repeats is anything that means that you are in charge, that your mind is infinite, that you are powerful, that you can have whatever you can imagine and persist in. So he very consciously repeats himself a lot. Even throughout the same book, he tends to repeat the same things. And he even says that in one of his lectures, that I know I just said it, but I'm going to repeat it because it's going to reinforce the belief. So that in and of itself is just a good tip for you to create new beliefs. But even though he is the one talking about revision, teaching revision is changing something specific from the past, in one of his texts, he says that you don't need to know where the belief started in order to change it. And by the way, I am going to use this opportunity to tell you that this is not the only way of doing things. If you have been doing something different, if you have been doing it in a different way that has worked for you, please don't take this as you have been doing something wrong, that now you have to do this instead. If it has worked for you, then keep doing it. This video is just meant to give you an idea, if you don't have any, about how to work with it, or just a different tool to work with limiting beliefs, if you want to give it a try. So this is not the only way to do it. There's not one way of manifesting anything. So we are just going to use whatever works for us in different moments for different manifestations. So Neville Goddard says, you don't have to know where the belief started. You don't have to know who put it in your head, which means that you don't have to go back and do all this inner child healing and whatever else that people do. By the way, that's a term that I have heard a lot, but I don't even know what it means. I've never done stuff like that. I have never... let's just talk about that. I've never done that, and nevertheless, I've manifested lots of things that you don't have to do a lot of things to manifest. You don't have to meditate for 8 hours a day. You don't have to go back and do stuff from your past lives. Like, you can if you want to, you can if you know what you're doing, but completely unnecessary in order for you to go from point A to point B in this physical reality, in order for you to have your desires. So if you don't need to know where your limiting beliefs started, how to know what your limiting beliefs are. Again, back to Neville Goddard, he says it's right in front of you. And it's so simple, right? It's right in front of you. All your experiences in your 3D are telling you what beliefs you are holding. That's it. So if you are experiencing something difficult, if you're experiencing something problematic, that's your limiting belief. That is your limiting belief. It's just that you need to be completely honest with yourself and understand what it is. For example, again, back to the money topic. If your immediate thought about anything money related is I can't afford it, that's a limiting belief. And that is going to be your experience. That is going to manifest itself because you keep repeating it. Those are, by the way, things that we don't even notice we're doing. It's just that you need to start paying attention to what your mind is doing. Or, oh my God, that's too expensive. I will never have money to buy a car like that. Who told you? Who told you? Just because you didn't have that before, it doesn't mean you can't have that in the future. Try to question those beliefs. But in order to question it, you need to pay attention. So the problems are right in front of you, and they are telling you your exact limiting beliefs. The problems that you might be having in your private life, in your romantic relationships. Try to pay attention to what you are experiencing, actually, what you are experiencing. Try to, if you can, not to blame the other person, but go back to yourself and view the experience from your point of view, not from what they are doing, but from how you are experiencing it. How are you experiencing this particular argument that seems to be repeating itself a lot? Are you feeling unloved? Are you feeling judged? Are you feeling unlucky in love? What is your experience? Another way of finding a limiting belief, now this is an exercise that I myself have done a lot. A few of my clients have used this. This is for those instances that you have an uncomfortable feeling and you know there's a problem and you know there's a limiting belief behind this experience because it wasn't good, but you just have no idea what the problem is. Still, like everything in conscious manifestation, you need to go back to self and start to understand your feeling if you can. And what you do is you have this uncomfortable feeling. What you start doing is you start brainstorming the feeling, though, not overanalyzing the situation. That's different. We don't do that. Not thoughts. Kind of thoughts, because you're going to brainstorm, but you're going to brainstorm about the feeling. How does the feeling feel? Did you feel ashamed? Did you feel guilty? Does it feel like you're being unloved? Again, does it feel like you're being rejected? What is it? Just the names of the feelings. Rejected. No, not that. Unloved. Ashamed. I don't know. Guilty. Boom. At some point, something is going to click. Something is going to really click and tell you that, oh my God, yes, that this is exactly how it felt. So you know that that's your limiting belief. You have some guilt or shame or God knows whatever else, just it can be anything that I might not even think about right now. That is also telling you that that's your limiting belief. There was no need to go back to your past, relive bad experiences, feel the old hurt and stuff like that. You have it right in front of you. Even if that limiting belief might have been created 20, 30, 50 years ago. It stays. It stays and it manifests. And this is why it is so essential that we change those limiting beliefs. We replace them with better ones. We have the tools. You have the tool. You who are watching this video, it means that you are conscious about having this power, something in your mind that can change your life. And this is life changing. It can seem a very simple thing to do. Yeah, whatever, I changed the belief. It's life changing. Try to imagine if you have beliefs like, for example, you are unloved or unlucky in love or with money, or health problems, anything. Try to imagine the reality where you don't have those beliefs, or just one of them. The part where you are unloved or rejected, you change it to I am loved and I am accepted. Imagine the reality of that. Imagine what it does to all your relationships, because that's a very important part of your self-concept, and your self-concept is going to manifest everywhere, with your romantic partner, with your parents, your children, your friends, your colleagues, job, bosses, everywhere. That one belief is going to be life-changing. And of course, we don't have one limiting belief. Unfortunately, we have several, just not to say tons of it. But you change one of them and you get rid of them. Once you've gotten rid of them, it's gone. You replace it with something else that becomes on autopilot. Now, when that becomes on autopilot, you don't have to keep working on it. So this is how you can find your limiting beliefs quite easily, without a coach, if you don't want to go to a coach. But just so you know, if you're getting coaching, it's your coach's job to find the problem and give you a solution. Otherwise, if they're not doing that, you can do it yourself. Or this is also a way for me to say that you can't do it yourself. These are the tools. You can use it for any part or any topic of your life. And let me know in the comments if you have been doing this. And also, please let me know in the comments if you have another favorite method to find your limiting beliefs and realize what they are, and so that you can change them and manifest anything that you desire, quite literally. So once again, please subscribe to the channel if you like manifestation kept simple and practical tips, because I'm going to make lots of those videos. And see you in the next video.